All right. Are you seeing now what I have presented?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, na-recognize ninyo siguro now clearly or kulang pa ba sa kuan gidaton? Inyo nang makuan mabasa? Maanina ganinyo?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what do you think is kanang akong gi-share karon? What is that? What do you think is this? Hello? Hindi lang akong gi-share karon. I mean, I'm not saying na kanang akong gisulat. Kanang gisulatan. Kanang window nga inyo nakita karon. What is that? Can you recognize what that is?
Sublime, sir.
Okay, so that is an editor, right? And it is Sublime. Okay, so you're right. So of course, I'm going to use this karon. Kanya akong gamiton na, although I can use any text editor for my illustration, but then I opted to use this one because I'm going to let you see what some other capabilities that this editor is going to have. Other than just being a text editor, of course, just like your thread edit, it is in your mobile device, that is built-in na ang iyang kanang browser, no? But actually, that was not a real browser, but it's just an emulated one. But in here, this text editor, we can show this or ang atong gibuhat nga HTML page or web page can be seen or revealed into a real browser, just like Firefox, Chrome, and some other browsers that we have in there. But here, di na nato i-change ang default niya ang nga setting, which is Firefox. Yun ang mga subline na text editor once you're going to show this one directly onto your screen while you are making the HTML page. Once you right click in any part of this, you can go ahead and choose any option that will come out, just like what I am doing now. So, kita niyo ng option na pop out din ha. I just right click the body or the area where I can write in this text editor, and then there is the selection or the option that is open in browser. So that browser is a Firefox, so you gotta have a Firefox installed in your computer. By the way, I'm using the Windows operating system. So automatic dito na siya makita sa uh, Firefox. So as you notice, mo ni siya ang example na atong rather that I have illustrated sa inyo last time, no? Uh, na makita na ba na ako sa inyo ang katong page 2 or the other page that demonstrate the event driven? Wala pa. Kani pa so far?
Yes, sir. Kana
So,
ra.
kani pa. So, mo pa niya atong, mo pa ninyo nakita, no?
Yes,
So,
sir.
just for a brief review of this. Again, this is going to demonstrate, or this has really demonstrated, as you have seen last time, event driven. So, as a gali ang event driven ang demonstrate dito sa ya palang daan sulod sa inyong body tag, sulod sa div tag. So, I just made sure na kani siya is legit ako a little bit para mo makitaan. And I made it in such a way na ang attribute na style, maklaro ba ninyo ka akong di-highlight? Maklaro ninyo?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
In line 5. Okay. So, that contains, or that attribute contains what? All the properties and its values that will make the div section or the portion of your browser screen that's covered by the div tag na na background na yellow as you have seen at yung last time natin demonstrate here that there's a border and there is the padding, no? And of course, while you have that other attribute, the ID, no? We'll discuss that one separately later. So, muna siya ang nag-define sa div na section o nakita ninyo dito ang text that says what is the equivalent of 36 inches in feet. And you have there a button and the caption of the button is answer. And then inside of the opening of the button tag, there is a very important attribute which is our target for the discussion nato karon. Ang pangalan sa attribute is on click and that is a special attribute because that is actually the event. So muna atong, as I have said last time, muna ang event. So in that attribute, na-evalue ang on-click na my function. So, sulod sa double quote, there is that my function nga ang code so that that function is going to work while you are going to show that onto the browser once the button is going to be up or click is in the script tag. So sunod ang div tag starting at line 12 down to line 17. That's the end of the script. There is a function in there. So when I'm going to highlight it, wala siya. So that function is named as my function. And of course, that's the function that is being invoked or being the value of the only click event in the bottom of tab. So that's the very reason nga no naanay buhaton ang inyong button. Okay? So ang inyong buhaton is depende sa unsay event na iyang i-trigger or i-perform kung maklik ang button niya answer. That is why ang pangalan sa event is also meaningful on click. The moment you click it on, mamedot pa sabon. Put pa sabot na doon na yung buhaton kung gibutangan of code ang function na my function. Of course, that can be any other name. So just name it as my function for simplicity, but that can be any other name as you would like. So sulod sa function beginning at line 14 to 15, duwara na siya kalinya, the JavaScript because mo na siya ang atong JavaScript kanang sulod sa script mo na siya ang gitawag na JavaScript code. So nagbuhat ta og function, gitawag og my function, and ang sulod is to store the result of dividing 36 by 12. Again, we divide 36 by 12 because we know that 1 feet or 1 foot is equivalent to 12 inches. So, ang question dito matong gibutang sulod sa there is what is the equivalent of 36 inches in feet. So that means we have to convert that one from inches to feet. So we know that in every 12 inches, that is equivalent to 1 foot. So we have to interpret that and put it or translate that one into something like a formula or a conversion that for every inches divided by 12, that would give us equivalent feet value. So FP there is just a variable and that can be anything as long as it is going to conform with how we are going to write a variable, mean to say the Java uh, policy or regulation or guide on how to create a variable should be followed because that is also the same as in JavaScript. So we have now ft or fit is equal to 36 over 12 and the moment that the computer will perform that na ano value ang fit and the next line at line 15 there is the invocation of the alert na pop up not button pop up box or pop up region. So meaning to say there is something that is going to come out a rectangular region. Probably, of course, ang itsura ana magdepende sa unsa nga browser na ninyo siya parindir ang inyong document. So sa Firefox, as you have seen last time siguro, or sa Chrome, siguro kung yung nakita no, probably something like above, na browser na dito na niya ibutang sa pinakataas, sunod sa browser na yan ibutang sa center of the screen or the middle of the screen, no? So depende na siya sa browser na atong gagamitan. Alright, so as what you have seen last time, ako ni siya ipakita itong siguro itong last time na ako, that was the Chrome, karon ako ni siya ipakita sa browser na Firefox, which is a built-in browser sa Sublime at Text Editor. So I am now clicking on open in a browser. In a short while, the browser is now showing this, which of course, kanina nakita karon is defined by the div section. Wala tong yun ako nagkolora na yellow, the tapos ang yung outline is solid black at 1px na border. And there is a button there below sa what is the equivalent of 36 inches in here. And I'm going to click on it now and see what's going to come out. So sa Firefox, ako bang Chrome last time, mamata itong gigamit no, ya ba ito nga dipakita or dito sa ibabaw? Hello? Dito ba ito sa ibabaw natin nasitaan ang alert? Chrome man to. Siguro itong gigamit no, that was Notepad. Then I share it up into the Chrome na browser. But now I am showing it with the subline na text editor. So ang iyang default na browser is Firefox. So this is how Firefox fits the alert na pop-up box. So nasa ito nga butang. So I'm going to click on the OK because of course it's part of it. We did not create a program for that. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So it's done. Tomorrow to siya. So that very simple act that we did in creating the function in the script tag or within the script tag is of course um, a simple illustration of event driven. You'll be seeing much more of an example of an event driven and some other ways of how to implement that one, but this is just the beginning of it. All right, so any question, Annie? My question, Annie? I hope not. So let's go ahead and I'm going to close this one first and go back to the editor. Select the editor, no? Now, I also opened another example, and this is the other example or the other page that the team already created. Again, in this HTML document, there is just within the body tag na I div tag. Then there is this style, no? Of course, there's gonna walay style, no? That is just to enhance the appearance of it. But I just have this minimal styling for us to see some kind of good appearance in our user interface. So for the end time around, I am always saying that inyong styling is a part sa HTML. So meaning to say, pwede raw walang share styling, you can go ahead and create a good job. But with the styling, it enhances the appearance of your user interface na ninyo makita once ma-render na siya sa browser. So what is something new in this or what is something different in this second page or other page that we have created? So we have here the button. So siguro mas okay pa ako na lang yung diretso pakita sa inyo in a browser and let's discuss each one of this. So this is the how the Firefox linear to the second page or the other page from GMO. So the div tag is, as you can see, there is bounded with the region with a solid 1 pixel na borderline. And inside of the div tag, there is this, uh, what is your name? So that's nothing but a text and followed by an input box. So the input box, of course, pwede na ninyo siya mabutangan og anything, but ang iyang pangayo na ni as a in the form of a question is what is your name? So I'm going to type a name. So anything that you would like to type it in here goes into this input box. No? So I'm typing Agatha. So when I am going to click here to welcome, we'll be seeing something again. And this is what you're going to see. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. So again, it is just the alert, excuse me, the alert box that comes out in the middle of the screen that says, "Hello, Agatha. Welcome to my page." So simple as that. So this uh, HTML document is making use of the JavaScript, and inside of the JavaScript, there's the function that is invoked or triggered when you are going to click a button in here. So as you can see the button that I have just clicked here, naa siya on click kung atong tanaw dito sa editor, doon na siya on click na button, the same as what you have last time. And then there's the OK na button again. So I'm gonna go ahead and click the OK button, and then it is just done now. So na, it is just like this with alert box. So let's see again in the subline kung saan na. So in the subline, in the text editor, contains the document that uh, I have just created as an example. So look there, there is the text, what is your name, and there are these objects like the input button, which is a type text, and you have the button na naa siya on click event na ang iyang function is this time display name. So the display name of function is defined inside the script tag. As you go to the script tag, you'll see there beginning line 14, the function na display. So ang code and absolute sa function na display name is again just another variable at line 15, which is NYM. This is just but a variable, and again, that can be anything equal to the document that get element by ID, then of course there's inside of it parenthesis name, then that value. So this is something new to you. Mo ni siya bago, mo ni siya wala dito sa inyong first na document kanina. So, kaning get element by ID na ang sulod kay ang parenthesis name. Yes, it's at let's separate it by parts, no? Of course, katong yung alert, yes, as what I have told you, is a method. One of the methods for the object na document or kanang nahimo na na object daan sa document na object. So as you have already known, ang document is an object, which means kanang atong gibuhat na document HTML page or the web page. So, naa siya mga methods, document methods na pwede na ito magamit diretso. So, we do not need to create that methods or function. Remember, method is a function, function is a method. So, we can create, yes, of course, that function, but this one is already created. We will just have to use it. Now, ang trabaho ng get element by ID, since this is a method, is to refer to the one that is identified using an ID sulit sa parenthesis, and this time, name. Kaning name is an ID na pangitaon niya din sa atong document. This is our document na ating nakabutang na atong script and some other elements for our external page na atay ID na name. So ata na siya na sa line number 8. So kung tanawin niyo mo sa line number 8, that is an input na element. Ang yang ID na naa nakabutang as an attribute sulod sa input is uh, written as name. So nakikita ka din na double quote, sulod sa double quote is ang name. So that is the identification, short for ID, the full name of ID. So ID is the short name of identification. So na-access ulit sa input na element. So ang input element or input tag is just what the box. Pag marindihan na dito sa browser, nakatong akong di-typean ka ganina o agad lang. So papaligin mo dito para atong makita itong atong di sulat sa ganiha. Okay. Yan ang nasa likod niya, kita niyo ng box. Itong sulat na nag-agata. Okay. Muna siya input box na yung ID is name. Now, in the function, pag ato siyang butanan karon of document that get element, it's very, very clear that when get element by ID is a method of the document that refers to that. Now, there's the last part of it with that value. Kanang that value, mauna siya ay value sa unsay type nato sulod sa box. Nakuha ninyo? Did you get me? Hello? Tata ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Anyone? Okay. Kanang agata natong gisulat sulod sa input box, mauna siya ang value sa anak nga element. Asa na layon mo kaingon, since sa atong code sa line 15, it says, let name equal to document that get elements by ID, that value. So, kung sa itong ID nga nakatulog sa parenthesis diha, yan ang palitaon sa atong document, and it found out nga sa input box na siya. So, kabalo na dahil siya, unsa na element ang gina-refer. Ang element na gina-refer is the text box na doon ay ID na name. Then that value, meaning ang value na nakabutang dito, naabak, naa, then mauna siya ang value na i-store or i-assign sa name na variable. That is what line 15 says about. Okay, I hope nasabta na ninyo na linya. Now, after that, in the memory, of course, name has now a value na agad na. Kaya mo may atong type. In line 16, it invokes the alert. It's the same as the type document that alert because an alert is a method also of document. Pero kay taas naman kung butangan of document, then pwede na wala document na to ibutan. Now for that, no, let's try to see because I also wondered, what if wala tadi na magbutang og document na ni? Still possible? Atong i-try lang ha. I have not tried this one. So get element by ID and then kana lang. So I'm going to save this one again and I am going to show this up in another browser. So every time you open up the browser, it has another tab. So morning na kanang nawala na sa yung value because that is another instance of uh, running the browser na nagsugod features primero. So I'm going to type in uh, 1 in this case. Let me see if this will work. I'm going to click here to welcome. No, it doesn't. Okay? It doesn't. So, ako nag-click, but it doesn't show up the alert box. So there is something special in here. Na, in VBI, can you get element by ID, which is also a method, is not going to do anything without this document that. So muna na, makita din na inyo ang document na get element by ID kana. So in this case, so siguro ang alert is a special one na pwede na madili ninyo siya butangan o document that alert. Now, kanisag atong butangan og document that alert, pwede ba? Okay, I'm going to save this up and open this up in another browser, I mean into another tab. I'm going to put like Pedro in here and I'm going to click the button click here to welcome. It doesn't show up. So, dili pwede. Kinahanglan na dito sa tong browse, I mean dito sa isulatan na to o code, pwede na I mean dili na butang ang document. Siguro ba sa bang browser, pwede na. Pero hindi sa Firefox, dili siya pwede. So, ayaw ninyo na lang butangi, just to be safe. And then, ang kaning get element by ID, you have to put document that get element by ID. Okay? Although I said that alert is a method of get document, get element by ID is also a method of document, but they have some special purpose. And they vary in the use of how you are going to write this one inside a function. So now that you have seen that there is a pwedeng abutangan nato o document that alert, you do not put it. And for the get element by ID, you really have to put document. Okay? For that to work. So this is another demonstration and illustration of event-driven making use of the ID. Katong last time nato wala man ko'y ID natong gigamit nani because we're just using alert. Wala man talaga gamit og get element by ID dana. Because ang atong gibutang din na is nothing just but a text inside the div. And then in line 15, that is just dial alert to invoke or utilize or make use of the alert na pop up ba. So you do not need to make use of the ID. But in contrast, dahil sa atong ikaduha na gihimo, na natay ID na gigamit sa input box because we wanted to get to fetch, to make use of the value na naasulod atong input box during interaction. Remember that when you render that one to your browser, the user gets to see the user interface. So man user interface. So since mo ang user interface, you get to interact with the elements, some of the elements na pwede interact like a text box or an input box then so we might wanted to put something in here or change something in there. Let's say I'm going to put another here. Oh, by the way, wait, wala na ako na save. Ako man siyang gibalik sa ganina, no? I'm going to save this back again and open in new browser again. There you go. Para na-refresh ang browser. So I am going to type in another, just anything that I would like to put in here. And then when I am going to click another element, then which is a button, and then there goes the triggering of the um, event, or the event is being triggered when I click on the click button ng nanan or click here to welcome because gibutang nato ang atong on-click event. But of course, dito sa code, kaning ni ang AAA nga type na ni sulod sa input box. This will become the value of this uh, input box na ginganlan nato og name. Mo niya ang iyang name at our identification. So, nasayod karon ang computer kung unsa na element or unsa nga box, like probably there might be several other input boxes na pwede natin ibutang dili lang kayo isa. So each one of those you have a unique, dili pwede mag-replicate, unique na identifier. So that identifier is katong ID. So since name naman ang atong ID nga i-refer or gibutan dito sa atong code para hindi mag-refer ang code sa unsa na input box nga gusto nato kwaon ang value. So kani siya now is being saved or the value of this is kanang akong isulat diha mao ay na-store dito sa name na variable. So sa name na variable muna siya atong gigamit also para i-click nato sa atong button na click here to welcome mo rin show up ito sa alert box because the alert box is being triggered when I use the function na ngalan is alert dito sa atong code. Na ang sulod sad is hello. So, maming AAA nga nyo nakita is kung akong type sulod sa input path during the interaction. Alright. So, muna siya kung makita get sulod sa alert path. So, when you click OK, it just dismisses. That's it. Yan ang siya kasayon. That's how simple it is to see event. No? But again, sa'yo na magigay niyo siya nga part pa lang that this is nothing but getting the value of the element that is referred to by its ID, na attribute, then of course, invoke the alert na button. Okay? Are there any question with this? May pangutana? Okay, let's get to the next one. Okay, after ani na, unta may buhaton, na inyo dayon, pareho sa pinibuhat na sign na inyo dayon i-present sa ako. But of course, it's almost time naman. Dito na ninyo karon i-present ugma. So, you're going to make it karon, then tapos i-present ninyo ugma. So, wait till you see this one. Okay, kininsyan nga example is, again, nag-update tagdani, pero what makes it so different from the other? So I'm going to share this up in a browser. Come on in browser. Okay. And as you can see, kita ka din na og meter. Duha na ka input boxes karon ha. I'm using two input boxes, but I'm not going to put something in here that is for some other purpose, no? Although it might not be nga tanan dapat ang ibutang diya, no? But just for illustration purposes, na pwede ra gyapon dahil kana ang ibutang diya. So the other box, or rather the other input box, the first input box that you are seeing is for you to type in the method. As you can see, there's a label na to din na meter. So if I'm going to type 1, since this one, as you can see siguro, nakakuha na siguro mo idea na this is a conversion. When you are going to say conversion, that means to say from meter to centimeter. You're going to convert 1 meter into its equivalent centimeter. So siguro kabalo man ta, ang meter is 100 ka centimeters. So once we click centimeter, you'll be seeing 103 as the value that is completed when we click centimeter. So I'm not going to click centimeter and it is it's 100. Okay? So meaning to say this is a program that converts from meter to centimeter. How this is done? Let's see in the editor. Okay. So kanang meter na inyo nakita din na mo ni siya label. Sulod na siya sa label na tag, no? Label element. And then as you can see doon ay ampersand in DHP diya tulo ka buok na naglinya, no? O upat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yan, sorry. 5 ka ampersand in DHP. There is a code for a space. So atong ko na to demonstrate sa nila pwede na magbutan sa more than one space, no? In the HTML, karon pwede nakakabutang using the ampersand in the I just put that in there in order to make our appearance a little bit, yung mga alignment, no? Purposes. If you really need that, then you can put it like that. Para ang space mabutang. Aya dayon ang meter. So, muna siya dire kaning space gani na muna siya produkto sa ampersand indeed. That is non-breaking space character. So, that's the code. Ampersand in the that is the code niya. So, lima na kabok. So, lima po naka-space ang gibutan diya. Ayan yung gibutan. Then, right after the meter is the input box. Ang naatong ID is M. Again, that can be more than one character. And that can be anything as long as the conform ka sa guidelines to create a variable in Java. That is typically same thing. And then we have two break lines in there to give us space. And then a button, which is an iyang event is conflict equal to convert to centimeter na function. Now, nadiri na hitabo ang magic in order to convert from centimeter to meter because dinisulot sa itong script tag. As you can see, three lines lang siya. Beginning from line 17, you have the variable na meter equal to or the MTR na variable equals to document that get element by ID which is M. So mo man siya na back kanya kung gitypan og 1 then tapos that value. So one na akong ibutang diya then by that time MTR or the variable MTR is equal to 1 followed on the line 18 which is CM. As you might guess, CM is for centimeter. That can be anything again. Equals to NPR times 100. The value of NPR during the time of interaction is equal to 1. That's the value of NPR. Then times or multiplied by 100. So that is why you got 100 when I click the centimeter because the value of CM is equal now to 100 while the value of NPR is equal to 1. So on the last line of this function at line number 19, you have the document that get element I by ID that value is equal to C. And this time, ang atong gibutangan o value is ang second element. Kanini ang naa sa line 17, ang value sa anak na element na identified as M gikuha o gibutang sa NPR. Sa line 19, ang value sa TM after the computation which is equal to 100 gibutang as value sa element nga gi-identify as P which is kanang second element. I hope na-get ninyo ang point na niha. Dili sa line 17, ang input box, gikuha na to og value. O gi-assign sa NCR na document, na variable. Ang line 19 is bali. Ang value nga CM after the computation, hindi ko pa-compute na nato ang CM. At line number 18, ang value sa CM is equal to 100 because you-multiply na to ang NTR times 100 to get the conversion value of 1 meter. So, mausa na siya karoy value na akong gi-assign dito sa value na property. Kana din value there is a property. That's the property of the element identified as T. And what is that element? That second element na gi-identify as C. Because MID dito sa atong gihimo, yeah, sa line number, what line is that? Line number, uh, where is that? C, at line number 11, which is an input box na ang iyang ID kanina. Mani siya. That one. Alright, so muna gibutangan nato og value. Wala ta nagbutang din ha during interaction because we know that that is mao na siya input box na mabutangan ko. value. So, makita dayon nimo during the rendition sa atong page is ang 100 ma-automatic ibutang niya diha. Gets ninyo? Nakuha ninyo? Hello? Any feedback? Nakuha ninyo akong sabot? That's right.
Yes, sir.
Ah, so, simple enough naman siguro ninyo. So, para mas ma-exercise ninyo o ninyo pag yung masagtan og ayo, so kamo na sa magpuri-puri. So, kini inyong pagpuri-puri ani minani maghimo mo og something like minani. So, you just have to have something like that mo na ang inyong minani inyong interface user interface just minani box lang. O katong na yellow ka ganina, sure lang gyapon niyo minadto no. As simple as that lang. Don't make it very complicated. What we wanted to show daan is ang programming na part. Dito sa sulod sa script na mag-convert from meter to centimeter. You search on the internet, naidagan tayo conversion sa mga like kilometer to meter, um, sa pa, you can actually fit to meter or something like that, and then volume, area, and then temperature, like Fahrenheit to Celsius, and there is even para sa kuan kaning time, seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, something like that, hours to seconds, ana. Daghan kay mga conversion na ito sa internet, mga measurements. When you look at measurement conversions, nailaga na dito sa internet. So what I wanted you to do is you craft your own like this. No? Na-apply, like for example, to second inches to meter or meter to, all you have to do is just try to know unsa ang yung conversion factor. Pila ka meter, ang sa ka, uh, pila ka inch, ang sa ka meter, or something like that. Sa pailaing nga mga measurement ka height. Naidagan kayo ana dito sa internet. Kamu na yung mita. So what I wanted you is to create something like this. So meaning, sa kadaghan kayo sa pwede natin i-convert, dili gid pwede nga mag-duplicate o na magpareha, no? So, I have to call you tomorrow, na kung text us tomorrow, no? I will have to call you tomorrow, each one of you, just like what I did last time, and let me see your work kung unsa conversion nga imong gihimo para ano. So, I hope inyo itong screenshot, kamo nang mag-screenshot ani, or you can read something from this dito sa atong sa internet or probably sa W3 schools, no? Okay? Basta kay, hinaani lang akong gusto makita. Kaning, there is a script na part kaning function mula akong concentration. The buttons and the input boxes mula akong concentration. The other things in the user interface ninyo, I don't care so much about that. No, basta kay naa. Ang mga minimum na requirement is ang button, the input boxes, no, and the function that you are put. In here, I am putting the function. I am naming it as convert to centimeter para mas meaningful siya, no. So, sa inyong part, do it also. Make it a verb ang inyong functioning para meaningful sa unsay ipabuhat ninyo sa function. So, kamo na dahil be very creative on how you are going to do that. So, I'm going to see that one, each one of you, tomorrow. I'm going to call your name, just like what you last time. Okay? Am I clear with that? Pero, before mo, proceed na sa atong next na topic, no? Then I will be announcing sa inyo tomorrow probably kung saan inyong examination, what it like. Okay, and when we will have our midterm exam. By next week, ani, examination week na. And there is a special announcement with regards to this examination week. Yeah. All right, people, am I clear? Are there any questions? May pangutana? Ay, essentially mangutana, wala magtubag. So I hope that you did understand well what I've been talking here since kanina. So if you have no more questions, this almost time. So pwede na tayo mag-dismiss. We have called the attendance na. Then see you for tomorrow. So be prepared sa inyong activity